The screech of tires shattered the suburban calm. A pearl-white SUV lurching to a halt inches from a bright orange cone. Behind the wheel, Diana Voss, her blonde bob rigid as a helmet, glared at the stenciled warnings on the asphalt tread, paint screaming restricted military zone. She didn't care. Her phone buzzed with HOA complaints about mailbox heights, and in her mind, this street, this entire gated enclave, bowed to her authority. "I'm the president," she muttered, yanking the cone and hurling it into a manicured hedge. The SUV rolled forward, settling defiantly over classified markings. Across the street, a curtain twitched. Retired Colonel Marcus Reed, sipping black coffee, watched the scene unfold from his porch. His encrypted tablet pinged, softly a silent alert from the military depot's cameras. He sighed. Trouble had just parked itself in his neighborhood. It was a sweltering Tuesday morning in Crestwood Estates, a pristine community nestled between a local airfield and the razor-wire fences of an aging military depot. The kind of place where HOA bylaws were treated like scripture and neighbors obsessed over lawn edges while ignoring the hum of cargo planes overhead. Diana Voss, with her pastel blazers and ever-present clipboard, wasn't just the HOA president, she was its dictator. For 3 years, she'd ruled with an iron grip, issuing fines for unapproved flowerbeds and wielding a bullhorn for emergencies like a kid Leah VYing a skateboard on a driveway. Most residents tolerated her because defiance wasn't worth the drama. Those who challenged her, like the Wilsons with their unauthorized porch swing, learned regret the hard way. Marcus Reed, however, was different. 6 months ago, he'd moved into the house directly across from the depot's auxiliary, gated, rarely used entry for emergency convoys and high-value shipments. After 27 years orchestrating global logistics for the Department of Defense, Marcus craved quiet. He didn't attend HOA meetings, didn't fuss over curb appeal, and folded his flag with precision born of habit, not aesthetics. He knew the depot's gate was no mere access point. It was a federal artery, and today it was scheduled for a critical delivery. The base knew it. Marcus knew it. Diana, oddly VYS, was about to learn it the hard way. The trouble began at dawn. Diana, fueled by iced coffee and self-righteous fury, had led an impromptu HOA inspection. Flanked by her loyal treasurer, Ellen, and a nervous new board member named Greg, she strutted down the cul-de-sac, scribbling violations on her notepad. "This curb," she declared, pointing at the freshly painted yellow zone by the depot gate, "is an eyesore. If the military wants to use our street, they need a permit like everyone else." Her voice carried, sharp and commanding, reaching Marcus's open kitchen window. He glanced up from his newspaper, sensing the storm brewing. An hour later, Diana returned alone, her SUV gleaming under the sun. She spotted the orange cone and a new NO parking sign bolted to a pole. Without hesitation, she kicked the sign, denting its base, and tossed the cone aside. Reversing into the restricted zone, she parked with a flourish, clicked her key fob, and marched off, heels clicking like a metronome. 10 minutes later, the street erupted. 2 military police officers, rifles slung across their chests, emerged from a black SUV that screeched to a halt at the gate. Radios crackled as they circled Diana's vehicle, scanning its plates. A third vehicle, unmarked but bristling with antennas, idled nearby. Marcus stepped outside, coffee in hand, his old clearance badge tucked in his pocket. The younger MP recognized him instantly, a nod, a murmured exchange. "She's got no idea what she's done," Marcus said quietly. The MP grunted. "She's about to." Diana, alerted by a neighbor's frantic text, burst from her house, phone already recording. "This is harassment," she shrieked, storming toward the MPs. "I'm the HOA president. This is a CIVY neighborhood, and you have no jurisdiction here." The taller MP, unfazed, stepped forward. "Ma'am, your vehicle is obstructing a federal logistics route. This zone is under secure protocol." Diana laughed, a sharp, dismissive bark. "Protocol? I am the protocol. You need my permission to operate here." The MPs didn't blink. One spoke in his radio, voice low. Across the street, Marcus sipped his coffee, watching Diana's empire begin to crack. The neighborhood, usually silent save for lawnmowers, buzzed with curiosity. Kids peeked from driveways, phones out, recording Diana's meltdown. "You," she spun, spotting Marcus. "You're behind this, aren't you? Ever since you moved in, you've been undermining me." Marcus said nothing, his silence louder than her screams. Then, a new sound, the low rumble of an approaching vehicle. A high-clearance federal SUV rolled up, its tinted windows reflecting Diana's red face. Out stepped a man in a tactical vest, badge gleaming. He handed her a document, his voice flat. "Ma'am, you've obstructed a classified operation." Diana skimmed the paper, her bravado faltering. "This is a joke," she stammered. "You're saying I interfered with the delivery?" The man didn't smile. "No, ma'am. You disrupted a NATO-aligned transfer." Her SUV beeped as it was remotely locked, geotagged for towing. Diana's scream raw, primal echoed through the cul-de-sac. The convoy, rerouted 3 blocks away, was delayed by 40 minutes, a ripple that triggered alerts across multiple agencies. Unbeknownst to Diana, her license plate had been flagged, her car's digital signature logged, and her name added to a Department of Defense watch list. Inside his home, Marcus watched from his study, his tablet displaying real-time updates from a base. He'd warned the HOA twice about the depot's jurisdiction, even offered to show Diana the easement maps VYing the street wasn't theirs. She dismissed him, calling the markings military graffiti. Now, as her SUV was towed by a federal contractor, Marcus felt no satisfaction, just the weight of inevitability. Diana didn't retreat quietly. By evening, she was live on Facebook, standing in her driveway, voice trembling with fury. "Patriots, neighbors, Americans," she began, pointing at the empty spot where her SUV had been. "Today I was attacked by armed men in camouflage. They towed my car, violated my rights, and silenced an elected HOA official." Her VY-Deo, shaky and dramatic, racked up VYUs, but not the kind she wanted. Across the street, Marcus had already sent the depot's security footage to the base commander. It showed Diana kicking the sign, tossing the cone, and parking over clear warnings. It captured her shouting at the MPs, calling them rent-a-cops. The footage was now part of a formal report, but Diana, oblivious, believed she was winning. The next morning, she emerged in full battle mode, an American flag scarf draped over her shoulders, bullhorn in hand. "Protect our streets," she bellowed, pacing the sidewalk. Ellen, her treasurer, trailed behind, clutching flyers about Civy's sovereignty. Most neighbors shut their blinds, some snickered from porches. Diana's theatrics were now a local spectacle. By noon, a courier delivered a letter from the county's Department of Public Safety, citing her for obstructing a federal route and warning of legal consequences. Diana tore it up, screaming about government overreach, and began knocking on doors with a new petition to reclaim the street. When she reached Marcus's house, he opened the door, calm as ever. "Diana, that road's federal. Always has been. You're fighting a battle you can't win." She sneered. "Oh, Marcus, you're just their lapdog. I should have known when you skipped the spring potluck." Marcus didn't argue. That afternoon, he sent the county registrar a file, easement maps, the HOA's charter excluding the depot's road, and emails where Diana dismissed his warnings. It wasn't personal, it was precision. By evening, Diana's petition had 4 signatures, one from a confused newcomer who thought it was about speed bumps. Group texts lit up with memes. Diana's red-faced rant captioned, "Queen of the cul-de-sac versus the U.S. Army." Marcus, sipping tea on his porch, chuckled. The storm wasn't over, but the tide was turning. 2 days later, Diana escalated. She called a local news station, claiming a military invasion of Crestwood. A reporter, smelling a VY Rouse story, arrived with a camera crew. Diana, in a red blazer and star earrings, stood by the depot gate, ranting about government intimidation. Behind her, unbeknownst to her, 2 armored vehicles idled, their crews watching VY live feed. The footage Diana flailing in front of a federal site reached the Pentagon's logistics desk by nightfall. The base responded with a formal request to the county for expanded control over the access road, citing CIVY lien interference, and attaching a montage of Diana's actions. The county scheduled an urgent hearing, naming Diana directly. That night, the drama took a darker turn. At 2 a.m., depot cameras caught a hooded figure spray painting invaders on the gate's wall. The build was short, female, with Diana's distinctive gait. Grainy but damning. The footage prompted a sheriff's VY sit to her home. Diana, in a bathrobe, denied everything, accusing Marcus of framing her. The officer, unimpressed, took her doorbell camera's memory card and left. Marcus, watching from his porch, knew Diana was spiraling. What began as a parking tantrum was now a federal incident. The county hearing was a circus. The operations hall, usually half empty, overflowed with residents, reporters, and even a radio host live tweeting the chaos. Diana arrived like a warrior queen, clutching a binder labeled civilian rights. Her speech was a fever dream of conspiracy theories, misquoted laws, and references to a blog claiming the military controlled local weather. She handed out her Petition 8 signatures, one in crayon. The board, struggling to keep straight faces, cut her off twice for time. Marcus spoke next, his voice steady. He presented maps, DOD letters, and the HOA's own charter, pro-VYing the road was federal. His clarity was surgical, Leah VYing no room for doubt. The audience murmured, some nodding. Diana, fuming, cornered him during a recess. You think you've won, Marcus? This isn't over. He met her gaze. It's not about winning. It's about facts. You forgot those. She stormed off, muttering about lawsuits. The board's verdict was swift. The road was federal, Diana's actions were illegal, and the HOA was ordered to re-VYEW its leadership. A letter of reprimand would be issued, and no charges filed yet. The room exhaled, some clapped. Diana froze, her binder slipping to the floor. Outside, reporters swarmed her, but she fled, flipping off a camera as she sped away. The fallout reshaped Crestwood. The HOA ousted Diana that night, electing Harold, a retired engineer who banned bullhorns. Ellen quit, citing stress. Diana's house became a fortress of drawn curtains and overgrown weeds. A DOD letter arrived, finding her due lot $29,800 for convoy delays and mandating a CIVYCS course. Her name was now on a federal watch list. She crumpled, silent, on her patio. Diana tried one last anablog called Suburban Liberty, but her rants about deep state veterans like Marcus drew only trolls and memes. A VY Rao remix, Diana versus. The Depot sealed her online defeat. She took the blog down, taped a "No trespassing" sign to her yard, and vanished. AMO VYing van appeared weeks later. By morning, she was gone, Leah VYing a trash bag and a faded flag scarf behind. The new owners, a couple with a toddler, painted the house mint green and hosted barbecues. The depot installed a sleek new gate with a plaque, "Do Not Block," dedicated to civilian oversight. No names, but everyone knew. Marcus, on his porch, tea in hand, laughed softly. Kids drew chalk art, neighbors waved, and the street breathed free. He glanced at the plaque, shaking his head. Should have left the cone alone. If you were the one in this story, how would you react? Would you stand up and fight back, or accept the unreasonable pressure and control from the HOA? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this VY Deo with more people. Your small action gives us the motivation to keep bringing you more intense and engaging stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next VY Deo.